Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike, and thanks for jumping on here with me this morning as we finish our conversation about the agent of the future, right? Well, it's interesting. One of the few advantages, the very few advantages of getting to my age and spending the last 3 decades in this business is that I get to go back to the future, right? Which means that when I started, there was no internet. There were no cell phones, there was no email, there were no text messages. The MLS was a black and white book, and everybody got one book. There was no online MLS system. There was no social media. Photography usually involved gluing pictures with a glue stick onto pieces of paper, and you had to get the pictures developed, the film developed, had to go to a development place, a photography store, and get them developed. There's no online marketing. There was no showing time to arrange your schedules online, your showings. You actually had to call the listing agent, wait for them to call you back and negotiate a time to show. It's incredibly time consuming. And we didn't have cars. We sure didn't have cars that drove themselves. Yeah. And we couldn't have even imagined all the tools that you have today. Couldn't have even have dreamt it. And yet, with all these advances and all this technology, the average agent makes no more money today than they did 3 decades ago. If you could have shown me a vision back then of the future, I would have thought that I was going to get rich. Like, are you kidding? I'm going to have all that available to me and it's almost all free? Can you imagine how many homes I'm going to sell? And the answer would have been, yeah, the same amount you're selling today. You know what I don't think anybody's problem was last year? I think no agent in Metro Atlanta can say this. Mike, if I just had more technology available, I could have sold more homes last year. Nobody can say that. Everybody has more stuff available to them than we could possibly ever use. The technology isn't the problem. It remains, and probably, I guess, always will remain, a business of building and nurturing relationships. With all this technology advancement over the last 3 decades, many people would have predicted it, that the role of the real estate agent will go away. It will be like travel agents. Nobody will need you anymore. They'll be able to do everything online. And yet, in 2023, more home buyers used a real estate agent than ever before. The highest percentage than ever before in U.S. history. And wouldn't you think, because like for sale by owners, they want to believe so badly that they can do everything we can do because they have the tools available to them. And yet, in 2023, the success rate for sale by owners being able to get their home sold was the lowest it's ever been. When I got started in the business in the 80s, yeah, I'm that old, all a for sale by owner could do would be to put a sign out in their yard and put an ad in the Sunday paper. And yet, they were more successful doing that than they are today with everything available to them. Isn't that interesting? And guess what? We, agents, were more successful back before the internet than we are today. I was able to sell a tremendous number of homes and didn't have one fraction of all the technology tools available today. So while I'm a big fan and advocate of using the tools, do I think that they're the answer to our problem? I do not. I think it is much like the microwave in my kitchen. It's not going to cook the food for me. It's not going to it's not going to the grocery store and buying the food. It's not going to prepare the food. All it's going to do is cook the food a little bit quicker than me putting it in the oven or building a campfire out in my backyard and cooking it over the campfire, which is how we used to do things centuries ago, right? It's not better, it's just faster if we use it. If I don't use the microwave in my house, then I guess it doesn't matter. And I think you're getting my point, right? That folks, our business, while we can use technology to help us be more efficient, really comes down to building and nurturing relationships. Don't forget that. Don't get away from that. It's never going to replace that, and you don't want it to. AI. It's the buzz, right? It's the current hot, trendy thing. Not against it. I'm for it. I don't think AI's taken my place. I think that another agent that uses AI might. But I'm not scared of the technology. I want to adapt it, learn it, use it to help me sell more homes in less time. And that, my friends, that is how we're going to get out there and we're going to make it happen for ourselves today.